All right, let's go. Today we're going to make New York bagels. Hey, what's up? This is Bobby with playingwithpizza.com, and we're starting off with 9 ounces of water. We're going to make, this is going to be about 56-57% hydration. And no, you don't need New York water. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of yeast. And next going to come malted barley syrup. They use this in New York bagels. Up in Montreal, that's about roughly a tablespoon. Up in Montreal, they would use honey, but in New York, they primarily use malted barley syrup, although I've seen some use sugar, but I use the syrup. The syrup is very sticky. I used to do this with a tablespoon. Now I just use it with a whisk. It's a lot easier to get that syrup, malted barley syrup dissolved. Here comes 16 ounces of bread flour, or as my man John Kirkwood would say, strong bread flour. Again, while I'm using bread flour here, I've seen some New York bagel places use all-purpose. Here comes a teaspoon and a half of salt. We get that together and we're going to put it in the stand mixer. It takes about a couple of minutes for, the dough to come together, and then it's just going to go for about 10 minutes in total. I know some people prefer to knead their dough by hand, but I'm not one of them. I'd like using the stand mixer. Here we are. We're just about at the 10-minute mark. And we're going to knead this just a little bit on the board. Bring it together into a tight ball. And once we do that, then it's going to be bulk fermentation, about 2 hours on the counter. After 2 hours, we're going to start shaping this dough. First thing I want to do is create a rectangle with the dough, and I realize that, okay, I'm going to weigh it, I'm going to get the total weight, and because I want to do 6 bagels, this is going to give me an idea. So it's around 29-30 ounces, so I know that each one's going to be around 5 ounces. So as I'm getting the dough ready to be cut into 6 strips, I decided to cut it lengthwise. I wish I would have cut it the other way, and you'll see why in a little bit. So as I cut through, I cut in half, and then I cut each half into 3. It gives you the 6. If you look at the pieces on the ends, they're not as long or weigh as much as the ones in the middle, and I think I would have had a little bit better control had I cut it the other way. And now I'm going to get into shaping this. I roll it just a little bit, wrap it, and then try to seal that edge right there. What I should have done is just, had I gone the other way, I would have rolled it out more, elongated it, and I'll get a better rounded shape across the whole bagel. As you can see, there are some straight edges on the bagels. Had I cut them on the short side, I would have rolled them out a little bit better, smooth it, get a better rounded product, and that's okay. You live and learn. But you see what I'm doing here? Before I wrap the bagel, I give it a little twist, and that just helps with the gluten structure and gives you a better bagel. And there we go. And you know me, that this is the hardest thing to do, is get this plastic wrap. I got this at Aldi, and I told my wife, we're never getting that plastic wrap again. It is so difficult to work with, or at least this box is. It's just terrible. So all right, this is going to go in the fridge overnight. So you want to cold proof your bagels. And I had trouble, keeping the seal, and a friend's husband said, put it in the fridge overnight. That helps. So I get it out like a couple of hours early the next morning, get water boiling, and we're going to boil these for about 2 minutes aside. Some people only do 30 seconds aside, but I hear that the longer it goes, the chewier it will be, and I like chewy bagels. Some of these store-bought bagels are steamed, they're not boiled, and they're easy to chew. I want something that's going to make you work a little bit. So I go 2 minutes aside. Probably next time I do it, maybe I'll cut it down to a minute and just try to see the difference. But here we go. While these are boiling, and I'll flip them here in just a little bit, my favorite bagel is Kate's Bagel Bakery in Chelsea, Massachusetts. I just love them. My friend's dad used to go get them on Sunday morning. My friend was Jay Della Porta. His dad was Gerald or Jerry, and he was a baker himself, and a great baker. But he would go early to get bagels on Sunday mornings, and so they would give me some, and I just absolutely loved them. And I had moved away from Massachusetts, and when I was coming back, I contacted my friend's mother on Facebook, Linda, and I said, "Hey, where did you get those bagels?" And she said it was Kate's Bagel Bakery. So every time I go back to visit family in Massachusetts, I always stop at Kate's Bagel Bakery. Now, there are some really good New York bagels in New York. I've had Essa bagels in New York City, and they're really good. I heard Utopia Bagels is good, but I've never been there. These are going in a 500-degree oven for about 12 to 14 minutes. You see them baking there. And I cooked these just a little too long. I probably should have taken out about a minute earlier, but that's okay. They were still good. And you see those straight edges. Again, I should have cut them on the short side and rolled them out into a rope, then did the twist and sealed them up. But those are the New York bagels. I don't know if my great-grandma Abundandola would have said, "Mind ya, Bobby, mind ya." Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel. Ciao.